Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushua Bahashim Kakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings. To the house of Israel, or should I say, to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. This is your brother Kwasi Yar with another quick one. And better is better is the end of a thing than the beginning of thereof. I would like to read Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. And this is what Esau Edom has done. Esau Edom, so-called white man, has done to the people of the Lord, Israelites, right? He oppressed us, and then he spoiled us, This way we couldn't see who we were, because a lot of us, or should I say a lot of the Israelites today, want to go against the very thing that created them, or should I say the very God, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua created them. They want to go against that very same thing. Although they still going under unjust, cruel exercises of authority, power, or bribes, cause someone to say, or should I say agree with evil. Therefore, it's better to say Ecclesiastes 7 or Ecclesiastes 7 verse 5. It is better to hear Salakia. This is not the scripture. It is the verse next down is Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patience in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So yeah, the hopeful elect is glad to see this then come to an end.
She had one of GMS's posters on the screen. That's one of our posters, Great Millstone's posters, one of our flyers. See that? Truly believe when I tell you, when she speaks here, she's in the spirit. The spirit has jumped onto her. She's in the spirit of Deuteronomy 28 and 68, Deuteronomy 28 and 48, Deuteronomy 28, period. Right? As you're going to see as she goes on when she speaks, right? Regarding what happened to our ancestors during this period of time for 350 years.
Because of their birthplace and the color of their skin, the bodies and spirits of black men, women, and children were exploited for profit and power. They were forced onto ships, bound by shackles and collars that ripped off their skin. One older man described it as iron entering our souls. Some chose to jump into the waters infested with sharks rather than feel that iron. Now, once they arrived on this very soil, they were forced to work by way of the whip, despite being starved, sleep-deprived, threatened, tortured, physically and psychologically. They were auctioned off, humiliated, fearful, and separated from their families and their children. Black women and girls were raped and sexually assaulted. Many were brutally murdered and mutilated. Now, this endured for decades, centuries.
And this also happened to the so-called American Indian, so-called Latinos. Okay? This is pretty much fresh on Jake, or should I say so-called blacks, because they were the last ones that these atrocities were happening to.
And even in the places where slavery was not legal, institutions from our banks to universities were built on enslaved labor in both the North and in the South. And for many of the white Americans who did not personally own slaves, they benefited from a caste system that concentrated wealth and political power in their hands. So, when we acknowledge the existence of black people who operated George Washington's Mount Vernon,
also acknowledge the Latinos and the Native Americans who are still going through atrocities,
or the black hands that built the White House, we are acknowledging the existence, the perseverance, and the contributions of the souls that white supremacy sought to erase. Those people built families, they developed a culture, they were the keepers of the faith, cultivators of community. And they are the ones who deserve credit for forcing America to rid itself of the stain of slavery. Now, all of this information, these stories are from the...
No, the credit goes to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, that his prophecies might come to pass.
Smithsonian's African American History Museum. And I share this not as a lecture for you, but as a lesson. America, the superpower, is largely possible only because of the superpowers of people who went lifetimes without the same rights of generations who were boosted from their backs. True history should include everything. Yes, the evils and the horrors too. And museums are supposed to be places that protect those stories.
Which they don't. This is why GMS, the Apostles of Great Millstone, beginning with the head apostle, Apostle Tuhar, has taught us true history. This is what people have neglected and continue to reject. In fact, 2/3 will reject it.
The images, the lessons, the very things that inform so much of our current state of our republic, from racism to poverty. No matter how painful, or in the president's words, how horrible the lesson. Now, just listen to one formerly enslaved man describe what slavery is like in his own words.
Now listen carefully to this man. All right? This is the voice of a slave himself, right? Listen carefully to what he says here.
You know what I'd rather do? If I thought that I'd ever be a slave again, I'd take a gun and just end it all right away. Because you're nothing but a dog. You're not a thing but a dog.
But that same spirit is alive today and doesn't know he's enslaved. Shalom.